From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Happy Friday to you. Let's get you out the door tonight and tomorrow morning in Kruger's Quickcast so you can just get a quick idea in the forecast. If you want to stick around for the bigger story behind the forecast, stick around. Here's what we have in store for us tonight though. Upper 50s, low 60s in the valley. Yeah, nice cool night. Temperatures 40s, some 50s in the higher elevations, and we've got those temperatures right around 50 for those overnight lows for the coast. So for tomorrow morning, maybe you're heading out the door for whatever it may be, hopefully not work. And of course, probably not school either, but you got temperatures in the low 60s, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Low 50s for Trinity County, the North Coast. There may be some patchy fog, especially around Eureka. Otherwise, clear skies for pretty much everyone else on the coast, that is. Mid to upper 40s for Siskiyou and Modoc County and the Eastern Mountains. Temperatures at 8 o'clock in the morning in the low 50s. All right, so here's what we have in store for us tomorrow. We're actually going to increase the temperatures. We're talking upper 90s. Now, could some of us touch 100 degrees tomorrow? It's not out of the question, especially for Sunday, but it's getting warmer tomorrow. Temperatures in the mountains will also be warmer, in the 80s for most locations, and in those low to mid 60s for the coast. Now, as I mentioned, temperatures warmer for the weekend. We're going to probably see that a little bit warmer even on Sunday. I think that's the best chance to see 100 degrees on Sunday, and then temperatures will start to slowly drop. Look at that. By Friday in the valley, next Friday, we're down to the low 80s for those daytime highs. And for the coast, I've got temperatures mid-60s through Monday, low 60s starting Tuesday through Friday. Inland for Trinity County, warming up over the weekend, and then that gradual drop in our temperatures for next week. And that's the same story for Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and in the Eastern Mountains. Now, you're going to notice more clouds entering the picture late next week. There is a slight chance, you're going to be hearing about chances for rain by around the end of next week. As of right now, I'm not setting it in stone. We got to wait for a little bit more consistency, but we'll get into that in a little bit more detail here in a second. We'll also point out the potential for some showers and thunderstorms for parts of Lassen County on Sunday, believe it or not. All right, let's get you into it. So a slight warming trend this weekend. Highs near 100 degrees in the valley Saturday and Sunday, especially on Sunday. Now there's going to be a gradual cooling trend next week with a slight chance for showers by the end of next week. Slight chance, nothing guaranteed at this point. Let's talk about that fire weather risk here. So for tomorrow, the wind's finally dying down in the Eastern Mountains, so that red flag warning will be allowed to expire. We go into Sunday afternoon. Some gusty winds here. Now, what you're seeing here may be in association with thunderstorms should they develop. All right, so really overall, not looking at any major wind events, not increasing that fire danger either. However, what's going to increase the fire danger and just continue to see the dry conditions. We're in the single digits, even some low teens for parts of the valley, mid to upper teens for the Eastern Mountains. And really, it's going to be about the same thing for your Sunday as well. Not much change going on there. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast. And tomorrow morning, there may be some of that fog for parts around Eureka. Otherwise, it's clear throughout the day on Saturday. You see the clouds moving in on Saturday, but that's really going to be the extent of it. Sunday is when things get a little bit more interesting. You know, models this morning, models this evening, the same. Still pointing out the potential for a shower or a thunderstorm, especially out in Lassen County, maybe even parts of eastern Plumas County as well. I mean, could this make its way up into Modoc County too? Not out of the question. So yeah, there is going to be that chance in there. I haven't set it in stone just yet, but just be aware that there is going to be that potential as we go into Sunday afternoon. So that's all because of this moisture that's getting caught up in the upper level flow coming in for today, and of course we saw some of that today, tomorrow and Sunday. But really what I've got my eyes on as we go through next week is this trough of colder air that's going to be inching closer to us. Now, what the long-range forecast model has been doing over the last 3-4 days is bringing in a chance for rain by Friday, taking it out, bringing it back in, and then taking it out again. So there has not been a lot of consistency in the long-range forecast models. But even when it puts the rain in there, it looks a lot like this. Very insignificant. Nothing all that impressive when it comes to the amount of rainfall should we see that on Friday. So bottom line, the end of the week, if you have outdoor plans, it's one of those stay tuned type of forecasts, because as we get closer to next week and the end of next week, we'll get a better handle as to whether or not we do see a chance for some showers. But the Climate Prediction Center, it's going all in on this, and we're getting kind of in that better chances of seeing above normal rainfall. I'm not buying it just yet. I'm not going to set it in stone just yet as far as any chances for rain are concerned by the end of next week. But what I am buying is the fact that we will see cooler weather. So this is what moved over to north of us today. There was rain over the Pacific Northwest that kind of squashed the heat that has been over us, and we got to see temperatures drop a little bit today. As that moves out, high pressure is going to be building back in over the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. You see this little ridge right here. It's not a very strong one, but strong enough to possibly bring some triple-digit heat for some of us in the valley, but mainly in the upper 90s for the valley, and of course in the 80s for the higher elevations. Now, once we get into early next week, we're going to watch this trough low pressure, this cooler air. You see how it's just slowly migrating in our direction through next week, and then eventually it pushes itself off to the north on Friday, and then as we go into a week from this upcoming Saturday, it pushes up to the north and east, and then we start to warm back up again. So we have a cooling trend through next week, but then as we go into that next weekend, it begins to warm right back up again. So kind of down, then back up. A bit of a roller coaster ride over the next 7 to 10 days. But the Climate Prediction Center still has us in the above normal category. And that's because, yes, we will eventually drop below normal, but then we're back up to around or just above normal after that. So yes, it's going to be hot over the weekend. Temperatures slowly dropping, as I was mentioning. The peak will be on Friday, and then temperatures back up in the mid to upper 80s by that next weekend, and then of course going beyond that into that next week too. Okay, let's take a look at your wave heights. And they dropped today. They'll probably increase a little bit for your Saturday, and then for your Sunday, they'll probably start to drop again. But as it stands right now, not seeing any small craft advisories, but looks like we do have some of that patchy dense fog out there. North winds at about 5 to 10 knots. Your waves from the north at 3 feet at about 5 seconds, and from the northwest at 4 feet at about 9 seconds. Okay, so taking a look at your forecast for tonight. You saw it a little bit earlier in Kruger's Quickcast, but another quick look at it. Upper 50s, low 60s, 40s, and some 50s for some of the higher elevations, and right around 50 for the coast. Now, your neighborhood forecast for Trinity County, look at this. We're getting in the 80s and 90s for daytime highs. It's cooling off a little bit here. 89 for Lewiston, 92 for Weaverville. It looks like Ruth about 87 and Burnt Ranch about 88. So again, what you'll notice for the weekend, for pretty much everyone, mountains, inland, and the valley, temperatures are warming up this weekend. A little mini heat wave, if you will, for the weekend, and then temperatures gradually dropping through next week. You'll also notice added cloud cover, but I'm not setting it in stone for rain on Friday just yet. But Friday's the day that we've got to watch to see that potential for maybe some showers. But until then, it remains dry. For the coast, we're keeping in the mid-60s through Monday, low 60s, and of course, you're noticing more clouds toward the end of next week as well. Up north, 92 degrees for a high tomorrow in Orleans, 92 Hoopa, 94 for Willow Creek. Temperatures gradually dropping through next week. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, look for a high of 91 on Saturday for Happy Camp, Etna 86, 82 out in Weed, and you can see McDowell, a high of about 78 degrees. And your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, temperatures mainly in the low 80s. Some of the cooler spots, Aden at 79, 78 for Tule Lake, and 78 degrees for Cedarville. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures mainly in the 80s. Some of the warmer spots, Quincy at about 91. One of the cooler spots will be Viola with about 76, and even warmer out towards Paradise with a high of 91 degrees. Your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamuth Painting. Your temperatures back into the mid to even upper 90s. Look for a high of 97 Hamilton City, as well as Chico, 96 Durham, 95 degrees for Willows, and 94 degrees for Elk Creek. Taking up north, we're talking about 98. So could some of us see 100 degrees tomorrow? Chances are slimmer. I think there's a better chance going into your Sunday, and then temperatures after that starting to slowly drop. So for Redding, looking at your 7-day outlook, upper 90s for both Saturday and Sunday. Again, best chance to touch 100 degrees will be on Sunday. Then we're back down to the mid-90s by Monday, Tuesday, mid to upper 80s Wednesday, Thursday, more clouds on Friday, and cooler with a high of 81. Well, that's your evening update. Be sure to keep checking in over the weekend with meteorologist Brian Wilson. He'll have your updates 3 times during the day, that is, both Saturday and Sunday. Have a great evening and have an even better weekend.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.